mainly because the very first two books right out of the gate were terrible. Just like the movie, the book was so much fun. February is where it gets kind of serious for me. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to a channel first. We're going to do our very first ever monthly review, reviewing January 2023, the books we read. We're going to do a book haul, right? You say the book hauls are supposed to be popular? So we're going to do a book haul, and we're going to look at our TBR list for February 2023. So for those of you unaware, this is a brand new channel. And so we started off here January 2023, and I thought we might not make it, mainly because the very first two books right out of the gate were terrible. Brotherhood and Death by J.D. Robb. I know that's an immensely popular series, 50-some books at this point. I think a new one just released maybe, or is getting ready to release here in February, something like that. So perhaps I just found the one dud in the mix. I don't know. It is not a series I will return to, though. It was a maddeningly bad book on several fronts. All the books that I talk about, I will put links where I have reviews already made, and so you will see the link for Brotherhood and Death below. So you can check that out if you'd like and see why it made me so angry. The next book that I read was The Cartographers by Peng Shepherd. Got a lot of really good reviews in certain pockets of the reading verse. However, I thought it was even worse than Brotherhood and Death. And again, you can check out my full review on that. If you disagree with me on those books, please leave a comment. I cannot figure out why those books are popular at all. They get great reviews on Goodreads and Amazon for that matter. I thought they were dreadfully bad. But we did rebound, had a really good reading experience with Bullet Train, the book behind the recently released Brad Pitt movie. Just like the movie, the book was so much fun, just like really fun, quirky characters. I would highly recommend you pick that up. Take a look at it. Really, really fun book. Maybe not the deepest or most significant book you'll ever read, but if you're looking for a good time, that is definitely the book for you. Also jumped into the Will White series, the Cradle series, here in January with book number 1, Unsouled. I did enjoy that book. I know that series gets a lot of hype. I have a lot of friends telling me to read it. And yeah, I've been away from reading for a long time, getting back into reading. And so I wasn't quite sure what to expect. I know this is the series is a little bit different than a lot of fantasy series in that it's some kind of progressive leveling up system, some kind of progressive fiction. And so it was a unique experience for me. I got overwhelmed by like the first half of the book. The second half of the book I did enjoy, and so when we get to the TBR section of this video, you guys will hear me say I'm for February. I've got the second book in that series on my TBR list. So I am going to continue with the series at least for now and see if it continues to improve. I look forward to it. I'm excited. I like I say, I enjoyed the second half of that book, so it left on a high note. A couple other books that I read that I haven't released reviews for yet. The Last Winter, which is a book. I can't remember the author's name off the top of my head right now, but the author was some kind of art director for Blizzard Entertainment, and so the book looks great. A lot of really, really good artwork in there, and for that reason alone, it was kind of worth a look. I found it at a used bookstore here in the Nashville area, and I thought, why not take a chance on this? The story was fine. It reads a little more like a mythology, though, so not my favorite. But I'm glad I read it. It was fun. It was a little bit different, from your average reading experience. The story was relatively formulaic. It was pretty trite. It wasn't, again, the deepest read, but it was fun. The whole book experience was pretty fun with that. I've also continued on. So one of my goals for 2023 was to read and finish Mike Resnick's Starship series. Mike Resnick is one of my all-time favorite authors. I don't know why he doesn't get more love. I mean, he's a prolific writer. He's written some, I want to say like 80 some books at this point. And I don't know that I've ever had a bad reading experience with Mike Resnick. Some of his books, including the Starship series, are they're science fiction, but they almost read like westerns, which is kind of fun, and so I really enjoy them. So I finished book 2. I will read book 3 here in February, and we will try to finish that series out. I will do a review of that entire series when I finish it. I'm not going to review each one of those books. Some of the books themselves, the individual books, aren't very long. There's 5 books in the series, and I want to say the longest one's maybe about 300 pages, and they read really, really fast. So I think the last one that I just read, I think I finished in 2 days, and I don't get a ton of time to read. So for me to finish any book in 2 days tells you it's a pretty quick read. So that is it for what we covered in January. Overall, the highlight of the month was definitely Bullet Train. I really enjoyed the Mike Resnick Starship book, and Unsouled was fun to read. Other than that, not the best month of reading, but my plan is to improve on that here in February, and we'll talk about that in a second. But I am being told that we're going to do our book haul now, because apparently book hauls are like a big thing, and I didn't even know what they were. My friend has explained it to me. So my book haul, we're going to start off with my book haul. So I picked up Shadow and Bone by Lee Bardugo. I hope I'm saying that right. Got it on sale, brand new version, or brand new copy rather, but I got it on sale at Sam's Club. So there you go. That's my book haul. What do you... Yeah. Dozens of books? People get dozens of books? I only bought 1 book this month. Okay. So maybe our first ever book haul isn't really a book haul. Okay. So what's on the TBR list for February? I'm almost done with a YA book by is it Marissa Meyer. I'm reading the Renegade series, and I am almost done with book 2, Arch Enemies, I think is the name of it. And I will give a review on that book here in the next coming weeks. So I'll publish that. I'm almost done with the book. Pretty solid. So I guess that's still like it's TBR because I'm gonna finish it. But I'm about 80% through it. So I will do more of a review on that when I finish it. Also on my to-do list here for February. So February is where it gets kind of serious for me. So I have been, like I said, away from reading for so long, and I feel like I'm way behind. All these people have written these fantastic books and series and novels, and I have never had a chance to read them, and now I'm trying to make up for lost time. So I'm jumping into some older series, and I'm very, very excited to be reading them. So a couple of the ones that I'm committing myself to reading throughout the year, maybe not 1 a month, but just kind of sporadically hitting these so eventually I knock them out. I want to read the Dresden Files, Jim Butcher, and I have never read a Dresden Files book, so I'm going to start off with Stormfront here in February. That'll probably be the next book I read after I finish my current book. Also, found another book. I've got a theory. If we go back to one of the worst books I've ever read, which is The Cartographers, again, got really good reviews. And so I have this theory. There's another book that I have seen called The Conductors that has also gotten very good reviews. And I'm convinced that the people giving The Cartographers really, really good reviews are confused. I'm convinced they've read both books. They're confusing them. And so my hope is that if I read The Conductors and it's fantastic, that will explain what has happened with The Cartographers. So I'm going to read that book as well. A couple others on the list for the month of February. I plan to jump into the Mistborn series, Arrow 1 by Brandon Sanderson. I know it's talked about all the time, really, really highly praised series, and so I want to jump into that. And I will continue on with the Starship series by Mike Resnick and the Cradle series by Will White. So that I think book 2 is Soulsmith in the Will White series, and then I'm on book 3 with the Starship series by Mike Resnick, and I believe that is Starship. Let's see, the first one's Mutiny, the second one is Pirate, the third one I think is Mercenary, if I'm remembering correctly. So that is all I'm going to commit myself to if I finish those books in February, and I think that's probably kind of a lot for me. Then maybe I'll look at some of the other books on my shelf that I haven't hit yet and grab those. There's a couple that I've been eyeing up. Not gonna put any out there because then if I don't read them, I don't want you guys coming back at me being like, "Hey, whatever happened to the one you mentioned?" And so that is it. That is what we have read in January, what we plan to read in February, and I will do better on my book haul. I probably just won't do a book haul next time because I probably won't buy any more books. I've got too many in the house that I need to read as it is. So that is it. I hope you guys had a great January. Looking forward to crushing some books here in February and revisiting that with you at the end of the month. You guys have a great week, and we will see you again soon.